Hello, Feely Humans. Welcome to another episode of You, Me, Empathy. My name is Known Wells. I'm the creator of this pod. I'm also the founder of the Feely Human Collective. And this is episode 257 on Living Porously with Jane Lui. Jane is a musician. She goes by the stage name Surrija. That's Surrija. Go listen to their music, download, subscribe, all the things. Surrija is wonderful, and Jane is wonderful. And we've had this conversation. We had this conversation in our living room. This was one of those rare in-person recordings, and it was just a delight. And in this show, in this pod, we talk about the grief of having to go outside your family to find the affection and love you need. Jane's magical experience being the opera voice for Michelle Yeoh in Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yes, that happened. And how we met. We talk about how we met, which involves our Airbnb and me just shoving all of my excitement and giddiness down into my shoe because I didn't want to be overzealous. We talk about why we're bound to lose ourselves and find ourselves again and again, and the keys to living porously. Really cherish this conversation. I really cherish Jane and her voice and her heart and her softness and her openness, and I think you'll really, truly love this episode. And also, as a reminder, this podcast, You, Me, Empathy, is coming to an end. I've been saying that the past few episodes just to remind folks, and it has nothing to do with Jane or any of my wonderful, wonderful guests that I've had over the past 5.5 years. It's just time, it's it's a creative thing that I've loved every moment of. It's been so transformative, and also I'm feeling the need to shift. I'm feeling the ground beneath me rumble a bit, and my creative spirit is shifting. It's moving elsewhere, and that doesn't mean that I won't be podcasting in the future, but it does mean You, Me, Empathy is coming to an end. I may start another podcast next year. That may be a thing. I love the medium of podcasting, so I'm not going to rule that out. But for now, the remainder of 2023, as these last few episodes come out, through maybe late July, they'll be released weekly. But until then, after then, my focus is the community, the Feely Human community. And if you haven't heard about it, and if you want to join, go to feelyhuman.co/membership. It's a community where we have monthly expert workshops. We have twice monthly emotional check-in cohorts. We have our Movies That Make Us Feel movie club. We're doing a documentary learning series. This month we're watching The Times of Harvey Milk, and we have weekly heart-to-hearts. It's just a beautiful space to be more of who you are as a Feely human, as someone who has deep feelings, who has a big, soft, vulnerable heart. And I hope you can join us. There's a free membership tier, and there's also a paid tier. And the paid tier gets access to all of the events and things. But we have some events for free members as well, and we have a sliding scale. So go check that out at feelyhuman.co/membership. And in addition to that, my energy is probably going to be shifting to some more reading. I want to read more. I want to write. I have aspirations to publish a children's book someday. So I appreciate you being a part of this journey with me. Truly, truly, you're the best, and I love you. And I think you'll truly love this conversation with Jane Lui on Living Porously. Welcome to You, Me, Empathy, the official podcast of the Feely Human Collective. On this show, we explore the struggles, the triumphs, the brights and the darks we face as humans trying to be human on this wondrous and overwhelming pale blue dot. You, Me, Empathy was created so that we can be witness to our collective humanity through the lens of empathy, vulnerability, and emotional curiosity. We aim to destigmatize mental health, lead fiercely with our hearts, feel our feelings without shame and judgment, and share our courageous stories so that others may feel less alone and more connected as Feely humans. You, Me, Empathy is a brave place designed to inspire the beauty in each of us, because each of us, in all of our kaleidoscopic parts, makes up a magical whole that deserves to be seen. Today, I am overjoyed to be here in person with sandwich lover, recording artist who goes by the name Soraya, and the opera voice for Michelle Yeoh in the best movie of the year, Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's Jane Lui. Hello, Jane.
Hi. No, it's so good to be here.
Oh my gosh. We are here in my my house, in our little living space. It's a small house. We're surrounded by books.
Yes.
It's really lovely. I'm grateful you're here.
And you're sitting in front of this, like, from floor to ceiling, like, span wall of books that are colorful and beautiful. It's like the first social conversation in a room that I've had in a long time.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, I'm grateful you're here. So before we get to our emotional check-in, I need to say this. Okay. So the listeners need to know how Jane and I met. So I have an Airbnb, and the way that I have it set up is people have to request. So it's not like, you know this, Jane. But so the people have to request, and then I sort of check the request, and sometimes I like
stalk them a little, see who they are.
I do a little stalking,
do a little background check,
do a little light stalking, and I do a little Google, and I Googled your name. So I didn't tell you. I'm telling you this for the first time.
Okay, right now.
So I learned that you were a voice on the soundtrack, and I was so excited. I was so excited, so giddy. I was like nerding out. So Everything Everywhere All at Once is like my favorite movie of the year. I've seen it 4 times. Like, I pre-ordered the vinyl soundtrack from A24. I'm like, it's my heart. It's everything. And when I learned that you were a voice on the soundtrack, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, worlds colliding, you know? And I, of course, like, and I'd already put up, like, I'd already had the little rocks in our yard with the googly eyes. And I was like,
that was all there before?
It was all there before. Yeah, it was all there before
wow.
you. And so when you came, like, I didn't want you to think, like, they're really putting on a show for me or whatever. But, you know, so I had you, like, it worked out perfectly. Like, I'm glad. But I remember I was at my friend Yishun's house.
Okay.
And I think we were messaging about it or something at that point.
Yeah.
And I was, like, very excited. And Yishun was, like, walking me through it and trying to, like, calm me down and stuff. So, all of that to say, biggest fan here.
Oh my gosh.
Like it was like I'm
so sweet.
Obviously that's a small piece of what you've done, like,
and a small piece of what that was.
Yes.
Like that movie.
Yes, for sure.
I
just
touched it with my pinky.
Yes,
really.
You did. But it overjoys me that you did touch it with your pinky.
It meant so much to come here because the movie had just released a couple months before, and I had booked the Airbnb knowing that, because it was in May, and then knowing that when June hits, I thought, gosh, shit's gonna hit the fan. I'm gonna be so busy that I need to get away for like just a long weekend before all of that happens. And when I pick Airbnbs, I'm very picky.
And you're a host yourself, right?
No, I'm not.
You're not?
No,
okay.
I just have a profile of a lot of reviews.
Right. So you've done a lot of Airbnb.
I have done a lot over the years. And so I'm very picky about what fits me. And what I saw was like the Totoro Miyazaki vibe. And I thought, oh, so sweet. Like, this is so cool. Out in like the kind of this country space. And perfect. I'll just do this. I just needed somewhere to quiet and nature and birds and air. And then I get here, and the first thing I see, I parked into the spot, and I see googly eyes on rocks. And I don't think I even turned my car off. I brought my phone out and I took a picture, and I thought, and I got chills, thinking, this was meant to be. Like,
yeah,
everything is welcoming me here. It's good.
Yeah, I'm so glad it worked out the way it did.
And I didn't want to be like, hey, I did that.
No, for sure.
So I just like, I just enjoyed it. And
you were like, you weren't that way, by the way. You were just like, hey, is this from...
Do you like this movie?
Do you like this movie? And then you said like, oh, I just so happened to like, do, and I was like, and I feigned like surprise, right? I was like, oh, really? But the reality, I was like giddy,
That's
a little giddy
funny.
boy inside. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I love that movie so much.
So good.
And I can, having talked with some of the people who worked on it, I can truly tell you, like, there were so many people involved, and each of us worked on a tiny piece of it, right?
Yeah,
Some were on just sound editing, some were just on creating the sounds on it, some were props and makeup, and we had there were so many of us that had no clue that it was gonna be
such
so incredible
hit. Yeah.
And I didn't see the whole thing until I saw it at opening.
Right.
And I just was like, I had no idea. They didn't tell me anything about what this was.
Yeah.
And we're just stoked, just excited that this exists in the world. And the message couldn't be any more current and relevant in our space right now.
Truly. So, like, when I first saw it, and I don't want this whole conversation to be about the movie, but
okay, yeah.
I will just say this.
But it could be if we wanted it.
It certainly could be. When I first saw it, I had to wait a good 5 minutes before leaving the theater because I was just like, I was crying uncontrollably. And Jessica after told me, like, I know why you were crying. Yeah. He's like, it's because of sort of the mental health framework of this movie and like how known you feel. Like I have major depressive disorder and I experience suicidal ideation very frequently and feel very alone and feel like very hopeless a lot of times. So I'm like, I feel like a Jobu Tupaki sometimes, right? And so I that's how I looked at it.
Yeah.
And that's sort of what it means to me. But like, obviously there's so many readings of this movie and all of them are so beautiful. Yeah. What was obviously being bowled away by the fact that you have a voice in it, Michelle Yeoh, what was your sort of emotional response to the movie initially?
It's so interesting. I also bawled. Every time I've watched it, I've bawled. And I think that Evelyn, Michelle Yeoh's character, and Stephanie, the actor, what is the daughter's name right now? Joy, of course. Duh.
Joy, yeah.
So Evelyn and Joy are different sides of the coin, right? Of the same coin.
Yes.
And for me, when I see Evelyn, of course, there's a cultural relevance that I very much connect with. Growing up in a family where affection in the form of approval and freedom and letting you do whatever you want to do and I'll always love you does not exist.
Right.
And these are skills that you have to go outside of what your immediate circle, your cultural circle is to find and learn. And that's both really liberating, but painful when you come home. And so for Joy to have this kind partner, right, that shows so much love, but that Joy can't translate that at home,
right.
or even be accepted the fact that she wants to be acknowledged,
Yeah.
you know, in that way feels very true to form here in my own experience. And in particular, what's interesting is that Evelyn, her trajectory of being told that she was actually meant to fight well because she's not good at anything was that got me really hard, because it's both a perceived, like a family perceived ideology that like my family didn't want me to do music, right? They didn't want the artistic whatever, but me in their eyes was not really good at anything else, or anything at all. And so
through their lens, right?
Yeah.
Through their, like, what they would want you to do.
Yeah.
Right? That, yeah.
Yeah. And and the fact that that Evelyn then uses kindness as weapon to change that fight on the staircase,
amazing,
kills me.
Yeah.
And Wayman's monologue at the end, when he's saying, I don't know what's happening, but can we just be kind? Like this, that's all we have. That kills me every single time.
Yeah,
and
me too.
The fact that he, being the kindness that he is, was able to change her in that way, and her kind of needing to taking on that fight herself, learning what a powerful thing empathy and kindness can be, that it changes lives. That was the lens that I came
Beautiful.
from, because growing up in a family that had no sense of real affection or gratitude, I remember being called out by one of my first boyfriends that, like, you didn't say thank you. You don't say thank you ever. I had to learn how to hug, say thanks, feel thankful, and to even just like kiss somebody, like as a friendly, kind gesture.
Affection.
Yeah, affectionate gesture. These things are not given in our world, and it's a movie that throws all of those things at you. The movie is so layered, I can't even start to talk about it. I love that it doesn't even try to handhold you. It's using the device of throwing everything at you to make you feel that what it means to be in a place where you don't even know what's going on. And the only thing you have really is try to stay present and be kind to one another. It blew my mind.
Yeah.
And so
it's the best. Are you open to talking a little bit more about your growing up, your childhood? So you were born in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
What was your childhood like?
So I was a very lucky child. I feel, on one hand, I grew up in a relatively well-to-do family. Like my dad worked all the time. I didn't see him very much, but when I did, he's very good with kids. And so we were really big buddies together. I had a really good childhood with him and mom. Mom was very creative. She is a prolific Chinese calligrapher, painter.
Oh wow!
But she very much did not cultivate any of that in a public eye kind of way. She would just draw out of her mind.
Because that's very artistic.
It is very artistic,
and it makes sense that she would sort of keep it to herself.
Yeah,
yeah.
It was the only sense to make of it because she wasn't going to really, I mean, she took classes and she had friends, she had a circle of friends, but she would just paint, roll them up and put them in the drawer.
Wow.
And my dad never...
That's not a metaphor. I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so even today, when I go back, she, over COVID, I mean, that was the only thing she had was her paintbrushes and paper. And so she would just go at it. And it takes her no time. And what she usually used to do was she would travel into mainland China's the countryside, mountainsides, take photos of what the rock formations and what tree types and the kind of how the fog dresses the side of the mountain, that kind of thing. And then she would bring those back, but then out of memory, start painting and creating a scene. And they're all very poetic. And she would just kind of start and end by, in like an hour or two, she would have a painting done.
Wow.
She would just roll them up, put them in a drawer. And after my dad passed away is actually when she finally started to really put the paintings out more into the world. But I mean, over COVID, I saw over a Zoom meet with her, it was spilling all over the place because she had no more drawers to put them in. And I've had exactly 1 or 2 conversations with her about the artistic process. And it's so interesting to know that so much of her process, it's where I got it from.
Interesting.
But I've never actually had a creative, study with her or anything like that. We just both actually worked from a really abstract space.
Wow.
And it was really great to talk with her, but she speaks Canto. I am more English. And so it's harder to connect in that sense. But it's been really nice to kind of get to know her in that space, even if it's not deep conversations in any way. Yeah.
I'm sorry your dad passed. When did that happen?
Oh, that was a long time ago. 2009.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And we had a very tumultuous relationship where I didn't speak to him for a good 9 to 10 years.
I'm sorry.
And if I had to do it again, it would have had to be the same, is the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know that it could have been any different. And he was a very controlling and emotionally manipulative human being. He was a great, that's always the thing, right? Where I've experienced.
Never one thing.
No.
Yeah.
And they are both, he is so much my father because I had such a fun childhood with him. And then he didn't know how, because he had to go back to Hong Kong to work. He didn't know how to raise me from a distance other than control and authority. Pure, unadulterated, threatening authority. Fear-induced, all of that.
Oh, that's so hard.
And it just, and as a teenager, you believe it. You believe everything he said. And so every time he would come home for 2 weeks every year, we would set up a time and he would lecture me for 4 hours on everything I was doing wrong.
Just everything.
Everything I wasn't. And
what did he want you to be? Just under his thumb?
He just wanted me to stay under his influence.
Yeah.
To be approved by him, that everything had to go through his okay. And if I didn't have enough self-esteem and confidence and knew that everything I was doing was wrong, if I took his word for everything, of course, then he would have the final say.
Right.
And that came to a head when I was in college, and this outside influence, outside of my cultural circle, of having a boyfriend who I was very much connecting with on an emotional and Western level, right? That taught me how to support someone regardless of who they are. It was the first time ever. because it was always conditional before that. And that changed everything.
Yeah.
And to have that, I will never, I don't talk to this boyfriend, this ex of mine anymore, but I am forever grateful for that lesson of you can call someone out on the things they're doing wrong, but outside of that, let them live.
I love that. That's so beautiful, and such a beautiful reminder of like the people we meet in our lives, right? And like it's a short period of time and the impact can be vast, right? It's like I have something like that. So I think of her often. So she was someone I met. I studied abroad in Swansea, Wales in college.
Oh, wow.
Like my sophomore year.
Yeah.
And during that time, I was like very, very sick. I struggled with anorexia for 15 years or so.
Wow.
I was like very, very sick.
That's a long time.
And she was from New York. Her name is Jody. And I remember her writing like a poem about me, and she gave it to me. And I never, like up until that point, felt so seen. And it was just like she saw through the facade I was like trying to put up, the armor or whatever. And she saw me for who I was, and she had empathy for me, and she wanted me to get better, right? Like in whatever way that looked, right? And I remember being really moved by that. And I still think about it, right?
That changes your life, and you don't forget that.
It does, right? Because up until that point, I didn't feel seen. I never felt seen growing up. And it's hard to not feel seen for who we are, especially you're in college, you're growing up, you're
forming yourself.
You're forming yourself, right? You're figuring out like what lights you up.
Yeah.
And then when you have like someone in your life, like your father or my family in some ways, like wanting, like lamenting how you're changing and taking it personally.
Personally. Yes.
Right?
Yes. You're doing this to spite him.
To spite. Yes.
Why the fuck are you changing right now?
Isn't that crazy? I mean, it's the only path forward is change.
Yeah.
We have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're stuck, right?
Yep.
Otherwise, we're not learning. Otherwise, we're not figuring out our biases and assumptions and doing the curiosity work that matters.
Yeah.
That matters when we're being in relation to the world and other people. I'm sorry that you had that experience with your dad. That's hard.
Yeah,
hard.
like I liked what you were talking about, that change. I don't know. I guess we're so in our world, we're so kind of constantly berated with this message of, this is what you can be. Like if you eat this at this restaurant, you can, it means this. Yeah. White picket fence and, buy a house and, have a child. This is where you can become. It's like.
It's always the next thing.
The white picket fence is going to disintegrate. It's gonna outlive you, but it is going to die by sun damage in 10 years. You're going to have to replace it.
Yeah.
Like there is nothing that will maintain shape because time is unkind.
As my friend Norm says, or maybe there's an Instagram about it, but he says nature is metal.
Totally metal.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
Brutal and beautiful.
Yes.
All at once. Yeah.
And I think, we talk about how the creative process of artistic, like discovering what the next project you want to do, these ideas, and I need to go see the world and come back, like what I just did. But then I think it applies to every human being, no matter what industry you're in, that we are bound to kind of lose ourselves and find ourselves and lose and find constantly. It's a cycle that allows for mutations, and we evolve a little bit every time we rediscover the vision for our lives, you know? Even if it's as simple as, you know, I think I'm going to change the color of this wall and see what that does, you know, to my life, to my calm. I'm going to add some plants because, good Lord, they're magic. They're magic. They change the air around you.
They do.
And just the kind of rediscovering, and especially after COVID, of what is meaningful to you, what actually makes you tick, what you want to engage with, but more than like what to do more of. Sorry, I'm just kind of going off right now.
I love it.
Instead of doing more of something, maybe it's releasing the brakes on some other things. It's subtraction too. It's taking away things that you don't need anymore in your life. Maybe it's people that don't feel good in your life. That it's okay to either talk with them about it or let them go.
Yeah.
Not in a mean way, but just moving on to the things that really
in a loving way.
Engaging.
It's love.
Yeah.
It's also grief.
Yeah. That.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of that in this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has there been any of that, like I'm sure there has, through these last couple years? I mean, for you?
For sure. You know, I think a recent version of it is I had been working at this company for like 7 years.
Oh, wow.
Doing a variety of things. But the last job, I was doing some like community management and really good company, like enjoyed the people. And then it just stopped. And they essentially like gave me the option to like take this new job, this new position that was like 2 positions, same pay, but the sort of underlying thing there is that I had to be put on a performance plan.
Oh,
which had all this like bullshit in it that was really, really upsetting.
Like expectations?
Essentially like, so to get into it, like there was this community that we ran and I was part of it and I led a lot of like more of the mental health, emotional stuff.
Yeah.
And we had this thing where we did highs and lows every Friday, and as a community, the idea being let's not be toxically positive here. Let's allow for the whole of us to show up.
Yes,
right. Because as you know, in the world of capitalism and business, it's all about winning and crushing. And
see.
Positive vibes only,
it.
right?
Yeah.
And so I was trying to bring more of that ethos into the space, and people really appreciated it.
Okay.
And as part of that, there was a couple of lows that I shared. One of which was, I'm bummed that books are being banned in schools naturally.
Yeah.
And I'm deeply saddened by the fact that trans rights are being stripped. And this was like months. This was back in the spring. And apparently those were on the performance plan as like, has no place here.
Wow.
And so Jessica was actually witness to that conversation. They sort of bombarded me one morning and all of a sudden everyone was there, bosses and bosses. Jessica was here crying because it was so brutal. It was just like brutal. Like the way they did it was callous and cold and really brutal. All of that to say, left the job.
Yeah.
And since then have been kind of flailing a bit.
Okay.
And feeling a little bit anchorless.
I see.
Which is, which feels hard and sometimes when you're used to some sort of routine, I guess, right?
Yeah. Structure.
Some structure, right? Yeah. And but it's been a big grief. Like I've had to work through a lot of anger, right? Like feeling angry at this group of people who I thought wanted me as me.
Yeah.
There. And the reality is they don't. The reality is that they were cowards. And that sucks. And so I've been sort of still kind of working through that grief. Eventually I'd like to do a whole episode of the podcast about that experience, but
it sounds big.
It was big. Yeah.
And it's always until you're in the position you are in now that you can go back and revisit each of the memories you've had, all the interactions,
Yeah.
and come up with the feelings that you didn't let yourself feel
For sure.
at the time.
For sure.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Because there was a lot of just like understandable, like blind anger for the first month or so.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was one, grief, but that's grief in the change that we were talking about, right? Like it's hard to change, whether that's like leaving a job or whether that's starting a new job.
Yeah.
Like it's, with that comes grief because it's a reshaping of our place in the world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And it's natural and very human to want to be, or to get comfortable with how we live. And when that changes, whether that's positive or negative or whatever, it's hard. It's always
difficult.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. To live in the you don't know is to live in the you don't know, like, is bravery that sometimes I don't have.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's and I find, and I wonder, I mean, I think Everything Everywhere All at Once sort of has this ethos. Like, I in my sort of depressive moments, I feel like nothing matters.
Yeah.
And then I come out of it and I remind myself that everything matters.
Yeah.
And there's all of that. And there's a lot of, like, I think Jessica called it joyful nihilism.
Oh, I like it.
Right? Because the reality is, like, all of it does matter and none of it does matter.
That's right.
Simultaneously.
Yeah.
And the none of it does matter piece is not a negative. It's just a reminder that things are temporary, as you were pointing out before. We come and we go. It's we're reflections of the universe in that way.
Respect.
Like the trees in our yard, they were here before us. They'll probably still be here when we're gone.
That's right.
Which is like overwhelming.
That's
and
crazy.
also humbling.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that like that type of feeling? Does that light you up as an artist?
It gives me humbling perspective of how tiny of a bubble I'm living in sometimes in my mind.
Yeah.
And that even just getting out, I have just been doing some travels and getting out into the world where I'm walking among buildings, railways, or the cobblestones that are far older than me. Gives me much more perspective on my own desires, how I would like to contribute into this small speck of time that I'm here for, so that I'm not sweating the small stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I actually just want to, let's just do the work that I care about, and then someone else can take over. Next.
I love that. How, like, I think about this often, how I want to contribute, how I want to impact, right? And it can be overwhelming to think about sometimes. Like, how do you hold that as an artist, like wanting to, I mean, you're a feely human. You want to, like, put goodness in the world through art and impact people in deep, profound ways. How do you like hold that responsibility? How do you maintain it? Like, what are your emotions around it?
So there's a couple of different folds of that. That I can think of two of them. One is, I think, music is my language. I think music, if anything, was my second language, and English my third. My tendency in music is that I don't want to tell someone how they feel. In my work, I tend to want to capture the complexity of holding multiple thoughts in the same space. That when you hear the music, my hope is you're hearing someone working through something, as opposed to saying, I miss you, or I should have, we should have been together, and like that kind of a more pop, which also it's its own genre, right? Like, that's
has
not
a place.
Yes, absolutely. Some of the best songs are in that place.
Yeah.
At the same time, like for me, I think what gets me going is a more abstract space where many directions are possible, but what you're hearing is
a multiverse, if you will.
Yes. Very much in the middle of a process, and that there are no conclusions at the end of the song.
Beautiful. Yes, love that.
And so that actually, to me, creates a sonic space that actually has a lot of possibilities. If I hold true to that message in whatever the subject matter is, I find that it really guides my sound. It guides what I would like to use, what plugins are the right ones, what textures, and I remember having this one song where it was about one of Picasso's old lovers, Françoise Gillot. And when we first did the song, I did the scratch track. I had my drummer who played on the album, who's Matt Chamberlain. He played for like every like Fiona Apple and David Bowie, and I mean he's a top notch, and it was a dream to work with him. And he did the right thing on that scratch track. He made the right calls, and it was beautiful. And then we went back into studio, and I listened to it, and I just didn't feel right. And it wasn't anything he did. It was how the mood of the piece had become this calm, cool, collect vibe to it. That wasn't what I was saying.
Right.
And the room was like, the thing is, what I was trying to say felt abstract. And so really anything can fit to it, but it's not what I was trying to say.
Right.
So I thought, okay, well, I guess I have to be the one to say it. We need to start over. So we scrapped everything. We started over, but it was really hard to, we had to dig deeper. I had to dig deeper to figure out what specifically I was trying to say. And I can fully admit I didn't know at the moment.
Right.
I didn't know that I didn't know. And so it was like, okay, then I got to sit down with it and figure out what it is. And I realized, oh, this is about loneliness. This is about what it means to be with someone that is a monster and you know it. Then you choose to stay in it.
Right.
And all that comes with that space. And so then I understood, okay, then the sounds have to be more muffled. And we have more kind of eerie, deep sonic spaces, like deep, more space in between the drum hits.
Create
just
more
the
tension.
Yeah. The type of tension and
Feel
layering.
maybe suffocated a little bit.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
But like maybe she's actually talking to herself because there's no one she can really talk
She
about
has
this
no
with,
support. Yeah.
etc. That's where I find a great joy is in that music space where I get to kind of get into the head of someone in that way. Instead of like a message. I don't really have that.
Yeah.
As a drive. And I hope that I continue to change, and every time that I've made an album, I've just not been able to listen to it, and two just kind of want to start something else, some new space, some new sound. And so that's kind of where I am. And
I love that.
There was a second thing with that. I can't remember what it was right now, but
that's okay. It's okay. I love that. I love that music can be this thing, just as any art piece that is something the artist is working through themselves, and has these layers, just like the movie, right? Just like Everything Everywhere All at Once, where you can get so much. I get something from it, another person gets something completely different.
Yeah.
And we the more time we spend with it, even you get something more, or you hear something you didn't
different
before.
Last time.
Hear
Yeah.
something different, right?
Yeah.
And even like I'm coming to an album and I'm like feeling something.
Yeah.
And then the next day I'm feeling something different. It could be a different experience.
Yeah.
Right.
And you revisit it and you've changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
It's beautiful.
pretty special. Especially, music can do that. It's very special.
Yeah.
And yours certainly does. Like the listeners should know that Jessica and I went and saw Jane Soraya back in July, and it was, oh God, what a special show. Like it felt like, so when I was in New York, I've been a big Fiona Apple fan for a long time. And when I was in New York, this is such a sad story, but like, this was during her Extraordinary Machine.
Yeah.
I was there and she was on tour and she was playing at Madison Square Garden.
Oh.
And of course, like tickets sold out very quickly. But I found this guy, like, this was in like 2001, 2002, whenever, maybe it was a little later than that. I don't know. I love that album. Anyways,
so
I
good.
found some guy online. He sold me his ticket. It was like a Ticketmaster printout. I was like, great, $200. I'll get there. Stand in line. It was snowing. 2 hours, get to the box office. They scan it. They're like, oh, this isn't working. Take it to the box office. The guy looks at it. Takes literally like a second. He's like, this is fake.
Oh, no.
I spent $200 on it.
Oh, no.
So I was like so sad. But anyways, I was redeemed later. I saw her on her last, maybe the second to last tour, like not this last album, but the one before. I finally saw her up in LA.
Yeah.
Anyways, all of that to say, of course, like people have compared some of your music to Fiona Apple. I am such a huge Fiona Apple fan. Yeah. When I think of Fiona Apple and then I hear you and I feel like there's some Fiona Apple there, that, I mean, just know that that's like the biggest compliment in the world. Like soulful, saying a lot, clearly like a lot of emotion, a lot of like working through, and it's very clear to me, and it's, it's moving, and it moves you to tears.
Thanks. It's very sweet.
Yeah.
She I really I'm such a mishmash pot of influences that I feel like Soraya has landed into a space that I felt really comfortable, but also risking some vulnerabilities, because I think that comes from a territory of not wanting to do what I did before.
Yes.
And throwing all that out and restarting with a new name. Then you have to kind of dig deeper to figure out what, if that surface stuff, that telling you how to feel doesn't work, well, then maybe I shouldn't tell you how to feel. What else? What else is there?
Right.
And I start digging deeper. And this album has been very much about working through my dad's stuff.
Right.
Yeah. It was a conversation with these women about how to break down patriarchy in me.
Internalized.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is a lot of, I took a lot of grief, but also anger at everybody, including myself. I fucked up plenty of times. I was cruel. And now I know that, when I get cruel with something, because, at different times of our lives, I think our parents show up in new ways. Like, when I had a dog, my dad showed up and I was not kind to my dog at first. I had to learn to not take their acting out personally. I was mad at my dog.
Yeah.
It just, that stuff just takes time to dismantle and unlearn.
Yeah.
Being kind to ourselves, is so hard.
Mm.
It takes real effort, and it was scary. I went through a moment in life of just being mostly alone, working through all that, my dad, but then I was just angry all the time. And therapy changed me so much, and I'm so grateful to my old therapist. And once, whatever it is, we all have it. Like, we all have that thing to unlearn at some point in our lives. Once we unlearn it and truly choose a different life from it, it then has this kind of crazy, like, electrical effect of spilling into all the other parts of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
But it just takes, you'd have to deal with the big boss, whoever, whatever that is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like life is a sequence of learning and unlearning constantly.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
Right? Because it's, you know, it's what you said before, like about there's no conclusion.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the same in life, right? Like, there's no finish line. There's no checkbox, right? We're not like we're not capitalists. We aren't trying to like achieve something. We are trying to be.
Yeah.
Right? We're trying to like be in it and of it and part of it and honoring of it and loving of it. Mm. And that does require like, oh, we learned something. This serves us. Oh, let's reflect. That's no longer serving us.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
And that is anger, that is pain, that is grief, like that is hard.
And it's exciting. Like, I can say it now that, you know, on the other side, but it's easier said than done. But it's so exciting when you realize something doesn't work for you anymore. Mm. Because then it's time for a new spice, like whatever that is.
Yeah.
And you can try it out. And that's exciting. It's cooking up something new.
Do you have an example of that? Like this, like what, maybe a specific example of like, oh, this no longer works. Let's try something new now.
Interesting. It's so, let me think about this. I used to need my relationships to be a thing. Like they needed to be very prim and polished.
Neat little box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sure that there were roles in my head that I needed to fulfill because I take to my mom's role, I'm sure, because she's artistic, and just I'm used to seeing what I grew up with. And so with my partner now, that is those things are still there. Like I'm sure I still see those things.
Yeah.
But I have the foresight to catch myself. Mm-hmm. So it's like you dismantle and you unlearn. It doesn't mean that they disappear.
Right.
You're just managing them totally differently.
Yeah.
I don't have a temper anymore. I had a bad temper because my dad had a bad temper.
Sure. It's what you were shown. That was the language you were shown.
Right. Yeah. And love was learning to be the thing that, this is a big one. Love was learning to be the thing that people wanted me to be without them knowing, without them needing to tell me what I needed to be. I could observe, like if I was in a room with you, and I am, I can see what works for you. And I will be the thing so that you will just like take to me.
Yeah.
I can make someone like me.
It's very codependent.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah. And I get it. I've been there. I do a bit of that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And it's and that's what love was. And when that stopped working for me, and it's when it stopped working, it's not because the person didn't love me, it was because I realized I didn't recognize myself because I was this other person for him and I wasn't living for me.
Chameleon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I had to like break the relationship, figure out who I was. And then now coming back into the relationship, I have to, like, I'm much better now, but I have to watch myself to know that I have this chameleon ability that I'll always have. Sometimes it'll work, but I need to, and I'm encouraged by my partner to speak up, tell him how I'm feeling at any given moment.
Great.
Really acknowledge me in the room. And it's the disappearing of me that I was so used to, because that's my mom.
Yeah,
she disappeared.
Yeah,
and it's only after my dad died that she has been reappearing.
That was her survival tactic.
Yeah.
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 And we all do that at some point.
We do.
I feel
we all
like.
do it. Yeah. Absolutely.
And
so human.
That's a big one where I feel like for the first time, I mean, for the last number of years now, I'm living a true, like, Western experience, if you will, because I'm such a mishmash of that, the cultural context of things, where I feel like, this is what my dad initially wanted me to have when he decided I should study here. I should have a life here.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to have it, and he couldn't carry, like, he didn't know how to nurture it.
Yeah.
And it took, getting out of that completely and not talking with him and really meeting this world for what it was.
And I love that you said that's what he initially wanted for you.
I know that.
You can hold on to that, and that's beautiful. Like, I think that's a wonderful thing. Obviously not discounting all the other stuff, but that's part of it. That's great.
I have been able to really feel grateful to him. And that took a long time, because when you're angry at someone, you just don't want them in your thoughts.
I get
period.
it.
Yeah. Right. But I think, I'm just really grateful for, his friendship when it was so good. And I'm curious to know if you hold any goodwill or any kind of, like.
Yeah. I do, and it's taken time. So I really haven't had a relationship with my father for over a decade, and he was pretty abusive, physically and emotionally, and like, slept around for 30 years, like, liked cocaine, it's just like,
that's a lot.
It was a lot, and I had to kind of learn to shut down.
Completely.
And, like, guard my heart for a while. And the sort of transformation I've done the past, I would say 5 years in my work with, like, empathy and thinking about empathy is a big part of empathy is understanding the experience of people. And that comes before I even know them. And the same is true of dogs, right? Like, I think about that with Ripley, right? She was left at a vet's office, just abandoned.
Wow.
And we don't know that life before.
Yeah.
And so with my dad, I know, like, I can take a step back and understand, like, what he did to us, to me, was not okay. And say, from what I've heard and could tell, and what my mother has said, didn't have a very loving childhood. And that's hard.
Yeah.
And so that paints a picture.
Yeah.
Doesn't excuse.
No.
And I can sort of allow for some empathy to come in because of that experience he had, right?
Yeah.
So wow. I'm at that place now. I'm not talking to him. But I think the last couple of years I've been maybe warming to that idea at some point.
It has its own timeline.
Yeah.
And grief has its own timeline, and you have to go through all the motions of that.
Yeah.
First and foremost for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a big difference in, like, how you grew up and who you are now. You're so kind of you're very generous in your emotional capacity to hear and see. And if anything, someone told me about just my dad's kind of mental abuse and kind of where the fact that we are able to not mirror that means that that's kind of in a way fading away in the timeline of the family. Right?
Yes,
that's great news.
Great news for both of us.
Yeah, you're
Jane.
doing incredible work.
You are doing incredible work yourself. Right back at you, friend. I mean, that is. I hope that's each new generation.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Bettering, progress.
Yeah.
Shedding the past, you know, dismantling the patriarchy internally, dismantling these systems of oppression and abuse. Yeah. And really like being a loving, kind, beautiful part of the collective. I think like truly I'm I guess a socialist in that way. Like I truly like believe in the collective and like collective liberation and dismantling these systems that don't oppress me as a white cis man, you know, oppress people of color, queer, you know, trans, you know, all these groups that have been marginalized and abused for a long time. And I think any sort of advocacy or activism is ultimately about liberating all of that, right? And dismantling and burning down the systems in whatever way that looks. Yeah. And a lot of times those systems are within us, as you pointed out, right?
Yes.
We're in it.
And those are
part
tricky.
Of it. Tricky. Ugh. Yeah. Tricky because I sometimes lead empathy workshops, and this young woman, Natalie, I think college student, had said something so profound. She said, we were talking about like past versions of ourselves and trying to have empathy. Yeah. And she said, I didn't know what I didn't know. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you time. Don't like, and that's like, I think about like, the childhood I had was hard at times, was weird. I started drinking at the age of 13 very heavily. Wow. Like a bottle of wine a day, sometimes 2 at 13. Wow. I started a fight club. Like I got kicked out of a water park. I was like a shit teenager for a while. And then I, you know, had undiagnosed depression and like anorexia and like all this. I had to do all of this sort of suffering before I found myself. Yes. And I have to, for myself, for my own sake and for my growth, have to understand that was what I had to do. Yeah. You know, yes, I have regrets, and I have to have softness for that person because I only knew what I knew. Yep. Look at where I was coming from. Look at the context, right? Yep. That was how you coped with everything. That's how I coped. That was given. Yeah. And I would say the same for you. Like, we need to allow ourselves to have empathy for past versions of ourselves. Yeah. And there was someone was trying to do a vision kind of empathy thing with me where they wanted me to sit and like see a young version of myself and then tell them like, where are they? What are they doing? Are they smiling? And in that moment, I saw like the young little girl, and I didn't want to talk to her. Isn't that? And I didn't realize that I had such an aversion for revisiting that space, but it was like, oh, I need to find in me that empathy for me that I apparently lost. I was like, oh, I don't want to talk to her. Like that person I dislike very much. Yeah. I couldn't figure out why. I didn't understand. And it's like, but I, you know, in the end, that's where we came from. And that's it's just how we coped with what was given at the time.
But that's an incredible story that,
Thanks.
that you,
Yeah. I mean, so like the reality is like you were a young girl who, as you described, grew up in a family that there was no affection, right? Like you didn't experience that. And that is hard, right? Like once you're in the world reflecting on that, that's hard. And it makes sense to me on an emotional level to want to move on, right? There's a bit of like moving on and letting go. I would encourage you, as I'm calling you my friend, Jane. You're my friend. I would encourage you to, like explore that more, and think of that little one and give them so much love, because they're worthy of it. And maybe they didn't have it in the way that you need, and you need now. Right?
Yeah, I'm working on that part. I think that's the next part. I think I actually feel, sometimes it's easier to go back and dismantle the people, the outside people, because then you can grieve and get angry at them, and it's outside yourself. When it's yourself, that's hard. It's harder. I am still very much working on that. I will say that like, COVID has actually a blessing in disguise, where I've just had to, we have to look at ourselves every day without, and it's been really informative to kind of sit down and be with myself. Because there is no other choice, and that everyone else is doing it too. Yeah. However they are coping, I can't control, but for me, it was a big tell on just how little skill I had in really being with me. And because I'm a relatively quiet person, I'm kind of a hermit, but that actually doesn't mean that I know how to be with me. Yeah. I can distract. I just don't want to be around other people, because I'm like easily oversensitized. And it's been a very loving time. I'm happy to hear that. Yeah, it's been good, and I hope that that's been the same for most people that I know. That they. I feel like I'm very lucky in that way. Yeah. Because I know, sometimes a lot of people are stuck in the same space with, I don't know, family that's hard to deal with, and loved ones that are not, the nicest, but, it's been a good soul searching time.
So I know we need to start wrapping up, but you posted something in your stories like a couple of days ago where you had this experience, right? Yeah. And I guess describe the experience, but like I'd like to explore the slowing down and the slow moments, right? Because like a big piece of empathy work is taking a pause before we react. Yes. Taking a step back, breathing. Yep. What's really happening here? Yeah. In my body? How am I reacting? Yeah. What armor am I wearing? Yeah. Describe the experience. For listeners.
So I was driving. There was a bunch of traffic, and something was going on up in front of me that there were all these cars turning around, making U-turns. And I thought, looks like the road's closed ahead. And so I turned around, and right when I was turning around, there was a lady coming out of a driveway going towards the direction of the closed road. So my window was down. I was like, hey, you can't go that way, actually. And she looked at me and she said, shut up. Go back to where you came from. And
this is a white lady?
Yeah. 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 And I, in the moment, in the immediate response was, fuck off.
Understandable.
Angry. Yeah. And I drove off. And then right afterwards, I cried. I I stopped being angry pretty quickly, and it became just heartbreaking because it was something that didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
It was a moment of kindness that was taken wrongly because of our default settings that we're so used to holding, right? The armor that we're used to holding.
Yeah.
This person probably is used to holding that armor towards someone who looked like me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't get to know. But the fact is that when we hold armor up like that, when we see someone, be it a certain gender, color, whatever, we have this like spiel in our head that, say it out loud or not, it's there, right? It's like, okay, probably from Asia, probably kind of stoic, probably whatever, probably, yeah. And that's what's going to come out. It's so predictable. And it's so important to, in each of those moments when you're interacting with people, to stay soft and open, because that's when you actually listen. That, I think what I wrote in the message was that, like, we, talk about what kind of life we want to live, and being good at what we do, and career and all that, and how to be in the world. But all of that means nothing if we can't make a decision in the moment to be kind to another person in our instincts, in how we urgently respond.
Yeah.
Right? It's in how we respond in the moment that's actually who we are. It comes down to that moment.
Yeah.
Right? Talk is all just that. And so, it broke my heart because I feel sad that armor is everywhere, is prevalent in, maybe it's just LA. I don't know. Maybe
it's human.
Yeah. And coming from, I've just, been in a different country where it is so friendly and people just talk, that people aren't suspicious of other people wanting to talk with them and ask them how their day was. They respond genuinely. And I just want to bring that home with me. I wanted to integrate. Yeah. And so, and to have done that, I could feel myself freezing up back into that armor.
Yep.
Then I shouldn't talk to people. I shouldn't help.
People are unsafe.
No,
I gotta protect myself.
I'm going to be cautious. And I felt sick to my stomach feeling that. It felt disgusting. Even just thinking about it, like, it feels gross in my body to hold that.
Yeah.
And I think living in a place for so long, you don't know that you're holding that. It just becomes like air.
Yeah.
Right? And I realized that I can't do that. I don't want to be cautious or not talk with someone because I might get hurt. I need to stay soft. I need to continue to be porous in any moment that if I can offer something, the offer can be made and their response is out of my control. Right? And that was a much better way of approaching this. I think it just hurt to know that so many in the world live in that space of hard armordom.
Yeah.
And defense mode, right? It's a painful place to live. And I really hope that we're able to kind of let go, one person at a time.
That's it. Small moments, one person at a time.
Yeah.
The revolution is soft and porous.
Soft and porous. Because it's a dangerous thing to live porously.
It is.
You get hurt.
And I've talked about it on the show, right? I have the privilege as a white cis man of maybe living a bit more soft and porous. Because I don't walk in the world and I'm not abused. I'm not catcalled. I'm not whatever it may be, right?
Right.
So we have like that intersectionality happening and one person at a time.
One person at a time.
And I do believe, and I'm so grateful you had that moment. I do believe that that's how we change, is like you catching yourself, and then you being a reflection for your partner or whoever you interact with, and like being, that's an inspiration. Someone listening to this and be like, oh yes, I've had that experience. Maybe I can catch myself next time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about empathy heroes. We always wrap up the show talking about people in our lives or characters from stories who are compassionate, empathetic, feely people we love and cherish. So I will go first.
Okay.
Give you a moment.
Okay.
Jessica's been gone the last couple nights, so I've been watching stuff. And I was watching the Naomi Osaka documentary on Netflix. She is a tennis player.
Oh, yeah.
A young tennis player.
Of course.
Most notably, like, won a Grand Slam at like 18 and beat Serena Williams in like the US Open in like 2018, I think.
Okay.
And I'm naming her as my empathy hero because the way she is portrayed is very, she's very reflective internally and very like aware of this external pressure that's happening of like being a sports star and being in the limelight and like, whatever. And she's in her own way rejecting that.
Wow.
And even like she created a production company. She started like a clothing line. She's like trying to like explore more artistic ways of being herself in the world and not being this monolith, a sports star that's, whatever, right? And it's really inspiring and it reminded me, that like that's a thing we do. We're sometimes seen as a certain thing, and I think it's beautiful when we can buck that a little bit. And
that's such a different level of pressure that they have.
My gosh.
I can't imagine. Like, can you expand on that? Like how she has to work, how she works through that?
Well, I've only seen like the first half of the documentary, but it's so it started off with like, oh my God, this person beat Serena Williams, very young, first Japanese player to do it ever. So a big thing. There's all that weight and pressure on yourself, and then when you get into like the best athletes in the world, like there's so much like pressure from everyone, fans, sponsors, corporations, like all these things, right? And then her next time out, like she didn't do well, and so the documentary goes into like how she dealt with that emotionally, and she was hard on herself, and then over time, like she got better at failing. Right? Like she goes into a tournament and her aim is to win, but what I saw is she got a little bit better at failing and understanding like, yes, I love tennis. Yes, I want to be the best. And I want to be a 20 something. I want to be a kid too. Like I want to, and that was really nice to see. You got to see more of her humanity as a human as opposed to just this sports icon. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Yeah. How about you? Empathy hero.
Oh man. I'm going to have to say right now in this moment, my partner.
Love it.
James is his name. And he is all at once a deeply just child, like full of boyishness, kind of a guy, very just a dork and sweet and very loving, and at the same time his sense of reason, like his voice of reason and judgment on any circumstance, his diplomacy in the world, and capacity to listen his patience, all of it, all of him has been the main driver of change in my life.
I love that.
It's really led me to rethink, early on what I would like to, what the vision I would like to have for my life. And he is all the different ages in him. Like he is also a very old man, and like he because we're both just hermits, and we both just like to cook and sit and eat pastries, and then but he's just a sweetheart of a human being who is quiet, sensible, but I've seen him angry, but never raises his voice, and always will only engage when he knows that his emotions are calmed down. And he comes from a family where his mom was mentally ill, schizophrenia, and
I have a brother with schizophrenia.
And
it's hard.
That's crazy. Like not crazy in that bad meaning of the word, but it's a crazy way to grow up.
Yes.
Where you don't know what's real. And for him, having a mom who
pretty destabilizing.
Totally destabilizing.
Yeah. And
he had to keep himself in his room.
Yeah.
Because he was bullied at school. He couldn't go to school. He was just traumatized at home. He couldn't go out into the living room. And so for him to turn out who he is, he's constantly questioning himself. He's constantly watching himself for the right reasoning, for the right rationalization. And sometimes that can lead to me wanting him to just like, show me how you feel, right?
I can see how he got there though.
Yeah.
Right? He had such a destabilized a caretaker and a mother who was living in a different reality. And so his control response was reason.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Makes sense.
And so I think for me as a music maker, and I go by feel very often.
Yeah, you're a feely artist.
I help bring that out of him.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I'm very grateful to him.
Yeah.
We
grow in connection with others.
Yeah.
Period. Yeah, I love that. I love that you have James in your life.
Thanks.
That's beautiful.
Me too.
Well, where can the Feely Humans connect with you, Jane?
I am on Instagram. I think that's kind of been my main thing because I am a visual person. And I have been posting my trip on Instagram, and you can find me at Surrija, Surrija. And you can look that up on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, it's all, Yeah, yes. I'm just around, and I'm just a pretty normal human being, I would say. trying to stay away from social media, but at the same time, use it for good.
Yes. Well, listeners, go listen to Surrija, support Surrija, like independent artists, they need us. So
that's true.
You have like CDs and things, right?
I do some, yeah.
Or like MP3s. Just what's the best place? Like, what's the best place for people to like go and like support your music?
I think I'm on all the major things that you use: Spotify, iTunes, Apple, whatever. But Bandcamp is cool.
Okay.
Bandcamp is where you can see you can like get the album physically if you want. I have some art on there, t-shirts, and but anything helps. Even just spreading the word helps,
the word.
Love your local bookstores. I don't know why I just said that, but my eyes are filled with books right now.
Yes, love your local bookstores and music shops, record shops.
And music shops, yes. Yeah.
Well, wonderful. Jane.
Thanks for having me.
What a pleasure this was.
This was so much fun.
Part of it.
I will have you know that we never made it to the emotional check-in.
That's right. We didn't. We didn't. I mean, we kind of did in our wayward way. You'll have to come back.
Yeah,
You'll just have to come back.
Yeah.
Well, listeners, as I always say, I'm here, you're here, we're here together on this wayward, overwhelming, awe-inspiring, pale blue dot. We have each other. It's you, me, empathy.
La, la.